CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. There was a lot of scrutiny, but the Ford government passed their spring budget. It's faced criticism over changes to freedom of information laws, which will allow the premier and his cabinet to keep all their office records secret. With more tonight, here's CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris.
Anger across the aisle as MPPs pass Ontario's 2026 budget. A budget with a tax cut for small business, a cap on ticket resale prices, and more money for home care. But tucked inside, a dramatic, retroactive change to freedom of information laws.
This is a budget that is about protecting the premier and his phone records, because guess what? We all know that this premier has been up to something.
The overhaul will keep phone records from the premier, ministers, and their staff secret. It comes after a court ordered Doug Ford to turn them over. He insists
95% of all information will be able to FOI.
Is that the 5% that is related to the RCMP investigation of the $8.3 billion Greenbelt scandal? Is that 5% related to how the government's using the Skills Development Fund as their own personal piggy bank?
The finance minister argues this is about matching Ontario with other provinces and the federal government.
The Westminster model on cabinet confidentiality is critical.
He already knows that there's cabinet confidentiality. He's trying to pull one over on everybody.
The anger in question period didn't only come from the opposition benches.
Why does this premier, who claims to be accountable, make it so very hard to hold?
Do you know why the members down here? Because CP24 didn't want her anymore. Bottom line. Yeah, it hurts, doesn't it? It hurts when you aren't wanted. There's a reason why you're here.
An outburst that some opposition leaders think demands an apology.
That is beneath the office of the premier, an office that he's privileged to hold.
I think it's just another example that the premier's out of control.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Meantime, tonight, a call to arms for Windsor Essex manufacturers, with a Canadian economist saying the region's perfectly poised to capitalize on military projects. CTV's Michelle Molesky has those details.
We're at the beginning of this transition.
BDC's chief economist, Pierre Cleroux, says the business leaders in this room are best equipped to snag a slice of a multi-billion-dollar pie.
We have committed to double our defense expenditures by the end of this decade. And that amounts to an additional $80 billion over the next 5 years.
Windsor is at the heart of this transformation that the Canadian government is trying to do.
Cleroux says it doesn't have to be tanks rolling off the line at Windsor Assembly.
If you can produce parts for the automotive sector, you can probably build parts for the military as well.
Not only is Canada doubling its military spending, they also want to invest it in a Canadian supply chain.
We're looking for companies who are already in that supply chain, but also companies who are not, and they can pivot.
Cleroux says it could be a way for automotive companies to diversify in a time when the sector is slowing down because of tariff uncertainty. He calls the White House tariffs on 90 countries, quote, the new world order. Yet he is still confident the Americans will ink a new CUSMA deal.
I don't think the U.S. can afford not having a free trade agreement with Canada. We're too important. We buy for more than $400 billion every year to the U.S.
The question mark, he says, is whether or not tariffs will change. His address to Invest Windsor Essex Thursday wasn't all doom and gloom. Cleroux isn't worried about a recession in 2026 because he says consumer spending remains strong in Canada.
In terms of buying services, products, restaurants, tourism is part of services of consumption as well.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
A Windsor councillor wants to shake up the city's homelessness strategy by spending money before people lose their homes. Ward 3 Councillor Ronaldo Agostino is pushing the city to, quote, play defense, looking at programs like rent subsidies to help people housed in the first place. He says the city is spending big on reactive supports and wants to see if some of that money could be redirected upstream. Council has now asked administration for a report exploring what other cities are doing and whether those ideas could work here without adding to the taxpayer burden.
Like, we need to boost this up. And when you look in the grand scheme of things, it's not even a question of saying, I want to take money or add to the taxpayer burden. What I would like to do is do an audit of some of the programs that we're doing, find one that's maybe not working so well, divert that money into something like this, try it for a year, and then see what the stats come back and tell me.
Essex County is about to see a change at the top, with Warden Hilda McDonald announcing she will not seek re-election for the role. But as local leaders look ahead, there's growing concern over a provincial bill that could change how that role is filled, even allowing Queen's Park to appoint a warden. CTV's Brian Bicknell reports.
They're elected representatives who oversee maintenance of roadways, parks, garbage collection, and a host of services. Now, some are concerned democracy may be under threat when it comes to upper-tier governments or county councils.
Considering that they're making decisions about local issues, that it should be local representation and not appointed by a body that's larger than ours.
You know, with the elected warden via appointed warden, I think it could start a slippery slope maybe, but I think if the system is currently working, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, right?
The Western Ontario Wardens Caucus is sounding the alarm over the province's Bill 100, the Better Regional Governance Act. Proposed changes would include provincially appointed wardens rather than wardens selected from within elected county councils.
Municipal government in general works really well. If your garbage gets collected and the road gets plowed, you don't really care who does it.
Caucus Chair, Oxford County Warden Marcus Ryan says local leadership matters, especially in rural areas.
If Western Wardens Caucus is right, and that if some of the changes that could happen were negative, then I think residents would say, hey, how come I can't talk to somebody anymore that I used to be able to talk to, or how come I don't get to vote for that person? And I think that's the reason that we expressed the concern to the minister in the letter, is we think that this works.
The concerns stem in part from proposed changes announced in Simcoe County earlier this month. Under the new bill, the province would shrink the size of that county council and appoint the next warden. The appointee would be given strong chair powers similar to strong mayor powers. The proposal also parallels the overhaul of education, where the province is considering changes that would reduce the powers of school board trustees.
I think it's a great idea. The local public have no idea on what they're doing, especially with school trustees. So why not let the people that know what they're doing appoint the proper person?
They don't know what they're talking about up there in Toronto. Let's have it for here, local. It should always be elected.
The caucus says it's advocating for the province to ensure any reforms maintain locally elected leadership, recognize the difference between municipal structures, reflect rural and regional realities, and be developed in partnership with municipalities. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, Oxford County.
Back in Windsor, a fire, forced entry, and now 2 men under arrest after a brazen break-in on Wyandotte. We first told you about the fire and break-in at Squad Pub and Grill earlier this month. Now, police saying that fire was used to create an opening in the building that 2 suspects later used to get inside. Investigators say cash, a credit card, jewelry, and electronics were taken, with one of the suspects later caught using that stolen card at nearby stores. A 45-year-old and a 39-year-old now face charges including break and enter, fraud, and possession of stolen property. And police are again dealing with the man behind Creeper Hunter TV, saying 45-year-old Jason Nasser has been re-arrested, accused of breaking strict court conditions. He was released late last year with orders not to use the internet to promote child exploitation or take part in activity linked to his online channel. Investigators say he violated those rules in January and was arrested this week on McDougall Avenue. Nasser now faces 2 counts of failing to comply with his release order. Business owners along Turner Road say a long-running construction project has left the street torn up for months, and now they're demanding answers and compensation. CTV's Bob Belichico reports.
I want a compensation, which I deserve.
Business owners have had enough. They say Turner Street has been under construction since last March.
All the way from Parkdale Place, from Grand Marias, there's road closure signs.
And it's been still going, and that hole was actually right behind me. They started digging now the 7 times on the last 3 days.
Gabriel Patkas owns the strip plaza and is completely flustered by the time it has taken to do whatever is being done. He claims he received no notice. He does say initially, though, signs indicated the work would only take a few weeks.
No, it was just showing over there on the advertising besides the road. It will be done in about 3 weeks. Now it's past another 3 or 4 months.
He says the businesses have not had any update from Enwin about the work or how long it is scheduled to take.
This is very, very, very unprofessional.
And he says it's hurting their livelihood.
You know, a lot of cars have been canceling. Even a lot of my friends themselves, they tell me they get here all the way with their nice cars. They don't want to drive on the gravel. They don't want to drive on all that. It causes damages to their car.
I want compensation for all these businesses that have lost meaningful revenue, that have lost their health due to this construction going on over here.
They claim customers are going elsewhere because of the barriers and mess. In a statement to CTV News, Enwin doesn't address the project or timeline, but says they are aware that businesses along Turner Road have raised concern about construction impacts. Enwin has maintained access to all businesses throughout the project and continues to work to minimize disruption. There is an opening from Graham Mares, but that hasn't always been the case.
Trucks, they repeatedly block this entrance into the plaza, and we've had to request them repeatedly to move the trucks out of the way, and they have not been compliant all the time.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
After nearly half a century, a Windsor diner staple has suddenly closed. The Lumberjack restaurant on Howard Avenue shut its doors this week after 46 years in business. A termination notice posted on the door says the lease was ended over unpaid rent. The restaurant confirming the closure online, thanking the community for decades of support. The owners tell us they are not ready to comment. A ferry that once carried thousands to Peely Island is now up for sale. The MV G-Man, a longtime staple on the Peely Island run, is headed to auction. The province has listed the 64-meter vessel in a sealed bid process with offers due June 17th. For nearly 30 years, it moved hundreds of passengers and dozens of vehicles between the mainland and the island. It was retired in 2019, replaced by the Peely Islander 2, and has been sitting docked in Sarnia ever since. The ship is being sold as is, with no guarantee it's still seaworthy. The Gordie Howe Bridge isn't open yet, but it's already being used to sell the region.
There it is.
Having it featured on the visitor's guide is just a wonderful opportunity to draw even more attention to this bridge and what it means to the region.
Tourism Windsor Essex Peely Island is leaning into the hype with a Bike the Bridge theme for the season ahead, even though the crossing isn't open to the public yet. Officials say the future pedestrian and cycling path could be a game changer for tourism, with an opening still expected sometime this spring.
Please, when your family and friends visit you this summer, get off the living room couch, get away from the dining room table, and get out and explore the region, because as we talk to Windsorites and our friends in the county, we know a lot of them haven't been to our tourism attractions in this region. So when your family and friends visit you this summer, get them out there, explore your own backyard, and help inject economic benefit into our great community.
Windsor Regional Hospital is taking a step in the green direction with a new plan to cut down on food waste. Starting May 1st, the hospital is launching Project Green at its Met and Olette campuses. Compost bins will be set up in key areas with staff separating organics like food and coffee grounds from regular garbage. Officials say healthcare facilities produce a significant amount of waste, and diverting organics can make a meaningful difference.
Long term is we're going to start it in these areas that I mentioned, and then hopefully in phase 2 we can bring it to the public and all the staff doing it in our cafeteria where we're at right now.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, what's more life-changing for these London friends? Decades of friendship or a massive lottery win? CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is here with our first look at the weather channel. Gary, what a beautiful day. I would take them all just like this if we could, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
I would too. I agree. Good evening, Travis. Good evening, folks. Still looking at temperatures to be above seasonal tomorrow, but tomorrow we'll see a break in the clear sky overhead. Today, beautiful, well above seasonal. No records being set, but during the 3 o'clock hour, we were the warmest spot in the country, Windsor and Tecumseh specifically. We ended up breaking 25 degrees. Our average high, 15. 10 degrees above seasonal. That's significant. We certainly felt it, and people were dressing accordingly. Lots of shorts and T-shirts, and that's the kind of weather it's been of late. Okay, so what's happening? Ridge of high pressure has kept things quiet, right? Clear sky, especially in the morning. A bit hazy, but air quality has recovered. It's been a pleasant day on all fronts, and the front that's headed towards Lake Superior shores will continue to move our way, but it's going to take some time to get here. I think the beginnings of that shower activity close to 4, maybe perhaps 5 p.m. Amherstburg, Windsor, LaSalle, Essex, and then further east from there towards 6, 7, Chatham, Kent. And there's a chance that the showers will also have embedded, at least along this frontal boundary, some pop-up thunderstorm activity. The worst of it's likely to be right over the heart of Lake Erie itself. Pelee Islanders and our friends in Amherstburg, Leamington, Kingsville could see along the north shores, northwestern shores of Lake Erie, some of that pulse activity. So, still warm enough that the morning is decent, pleasant. We'll see some sunshine the mid-afternoon, clouding over. So take that to heart. Notice also that temperatures are still in the double digits yet again for the overnight temperature. This technically tomorrow morning before dawn. There's a slight chance of some shower activity, only about 25-30% with a light breeze. That's mild, though, for this time of the year at 11 degrees Celsius. Here's the breakdown for your Friday. 13 degrees, a mixture of sun and cloud through 8 a.m. The winds are light out of the southeast, sustained at 10 kilometers per hour. Mid to upper teens through the midday, increase in cloudiness, a slight chance of showers, but I think around 4 or 5 p.m. showers, then that thunderstorm risk, that potential is there. I think the probability stat rises towards 6 and 7 p.m. in terms of things getting active. That is, getting wet with potential thunderstorm activity. Saturday, cooler still, and showers possible. Sunday into Monday, mid to upper teens. Not bad. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, mid-teens, average temperature around 15, and could see a passing shower through Tuesday. That's a look at your weather.
Thank you, Gary. Trade tensions with the U.S. are heating up again, with American officials floating new protections as talks loom. The Prime Minister says Canada's ready to negotiate now, but as CTV's Michael Couture reports, we're also prepared to wait.
As this Ottawa pub prepared for a busy night of playoff hockey, the shutout of U.S. spirits has led to a run on Canadian alcohol.
We really get asked more like about Niagara wines versus the Californias, and we get asked about the Canadian options for spirits as well.
The decline in American booze sales is likely why U.S. trade officials continue to bring it up as an irritant.
There may have to be an enforcement action to deal with this issue on wine and spirits in Canada.
When pressed about that today, the Prime Minister pushed back.
You know what's an irritant? 50% tariff on steel, 50% tariff on aluminum, 25% tariff on automobiles, all the tariffs on forest products. Those are more than irritant.
And he insisted discussions with the Trump administration must be a two-way street.
We're not sitting here taking notes, okay, and taking instruction from the United States.
Appearing on CNN, Premier Doug Ford made no apologies for Ontario not stocking U.S. alcohol and Ontarians not vacationing in the U.S.
It's unfortunate that Canadians are boycotting spending tens of billions of dollars in the U.S. This can come to a quick end. Everyone can thrive and prosper.
While criticizing the Carney government for making concessions and not getting any in return, the Conservatives say it's time to hold firm.
I don't think we should squander any more leverage after learning from Mr. Carney's mistakes.
Polyev believes the focus should be on the 2.6 million Canadian jobs affected by the trade war. Canada's new ambassador to the U.S. told a parliamentary committee there are discussions about sectoral tariffs while also preparing for negotiations.
We are ready, willing, and able to commence the review process, and we are in active dialogue to reduce the 232 tariffs that have been imposed on Canadian industry.
Despite several questions from opposition MPs, the ambassador couldn't explain why talks have not started between Canada and the U.S. Meantime, the Americans and Mexicans are scheduled to start their negotiations at the end of May. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
In Toronto, the TSX lost 42 points. In New York, the Dow fell 180. The Nasdaq dropped 219. The Canadian dollar is down 0.14 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold dropped $29 an ounce. Oil climbed $2.89 a barrel. CTV News Windsor has launched a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local news. By signing up, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Turning now to our weekly segment, What's Up YQG, with Johnny Parks from our sister station 89X and our own Melanie Kentner.
Yeah, we're at Biblioasis now. Johnny, I know you've heard of a pub crawl, but have you heard of a bookstore crawl?
This is new to me, but honestly, probably the only thing I spend more money on than beer is books, so it's perfect. We're with Scarlett from Biblioasis. Can you tell us about the event?
Yeah, so Biblioasis Bookshop is partnering up with 5 other local bookstores in the area. That's Whiskey Jack Boutique downtown, Juniper Books and Storyteller Books on Ottawa Street, the Book Nook Windsor in South Windsor, and River Books out in Amherstburg to host a bookstore crawl.
Now, I hear this is the first time that you've ever done something like this, so where'd the idea come from?
So we really wanted to promote the idea of shopping small and shopping local for books and other literary things, and we thought the best way to get people to learn about their local bookstore was to get them to visit all 6 bookstores that are in the city.
Yeah, so how is it going to work if people do want to participate?
Yeah, so if people want to participate, they have to make a small purchase to show their support at every store. There is no minimum purchase. With the purchase, you get a stamp on a stamp card. When you visit all 6 stores, you can enter that stamp card into a raffle.
And what about the grand prize here? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the grand prize for the raffle is this Little Black Classics box set. It has 50 novellas. It's worth $185. And we figure, there has to be at least one book in here that people will enjoy.
Yeah, I saw the yellow wallpaper. That terrified me as a kid when I read it for the first time. What are your guys' hours going to be like on the day?
So we're encouraging people to plan their route out ahead of time just to ensure they know the hours of all the bookstores, because every bookstore does have different hours over the weekend. Here at Biblioasis, we'll be in the shop from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. But again, it's good to double check with all the bookstores to find out what their hours are the weekend.
Absolutely, and we'll put the link on our website so everybody can know when to be where and get the whole idea. Okay, so Johnny, there are a few other things we got to mention coming up this weekend, including the Tweppy Staycation.
Yeah, they got the expo going on at the mall Friday and Saturday.
Yes, and there is a country show at the casino, of course.
Yeah, we sure painted it up, tore down and mowed 2-lane roads. We either stole every sign.
Dylan Scott is going to be there on Saturday, yeah.
Something that might be a little more up your alley, some tribute bands.
A little more rocking, yeah. I got the Who Made Who AC/DC tribute show at Cherry Rock Lounge, and then the CCR John Fogerty tribute dinner show at Chrysler Theatre.
Amazing. So a well-rounded weekend. So thanks, Scarlett. Thanks, Johnny. And that's What's Up, YQG.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
For one last look at the weather, we're joined by CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald. And Gary, it seems like today was the warmest day we're going to see for the next little bit.
I think you're right about that, Travis. Tomorrow, temperatures still in the upper teens and above seasonal, but not nearly as warm as it was across the region. Mid-20s today across southwestern Ontario. It was a glorious day. Tomorrow, through the midday, increasing cloud by the afternoon. About a 30 to 40% chance of seeing showers. By supper time, could see some showers and thunderstorm activity. High of 18, then 13, much cooler on Saturday, cloudy and a good chance of rain. Sunday, Monday, mid to upper teens, fair weather for the most part. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, mid-teens, in and out of some cloud cover. Tuesday next week could be a bit of a rainy day. That is your final look at weather tonight. Do have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Travis?
Thank you, Gary. Finally tonight, a story about friendship and a lot of luck. Two London friends are now sharing a massive lottery win. Here's CTV's Lauren Stallone.
Just a few months ago, two friends from London purchased a lottery ticket from this corner store behind me. What they didn't know then, their lives were about to change forever.
Let me introduce you to Ontario's newest multi-millionaires, Greg and Chris from London.
The pair immigrated from Europe to Canada in the 90s with the hope of a better life for their families.
When I come to Canada, we start to work because we dream about house, we dream about cars, we dream about send the kids to school.
Right now we can have a much better life.
The friends made Canadian lottery history as the winners of the largest lottery prize payout.
Because you played combination play for Lotto Max, you won the second prize on that draw. And here is a check for the second prize of over $400,000.
Greg and Chris say they couldn't believe they won.
My heart beat much faster.
My wife was with me, and I said, probably we won 80 million. And I was very happy.
That's the first I've seen that big money like that.
The owner of Happy Days Mini Mart says the friends are regular customers, and while he's happy for them, it is business as usual for him.
I was thrilled few seconds, but after that, pretty much the same. I just focus on my daily routines.
But for Greg and Chris, after years of hard work, life will never look the same again.
I never miss a day in this 28 years. The retirement will be different now.
Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
That's our time for tonight. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.